Yo, what is going on, guys? I'm Ewing Llama, and today we're going to be showing you guys how we set up a practice lobby in the newer Panorama UI for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So what I'm basically going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be going over a list of commands that I find to be very helpful. Some I will consider essential commands, others I feel like will be just some helpful commands that I find just to be a little useful when it comes to setting up a practice lobby and going over maybe utility usage or just practicing strats or something of that nature. So I will let you guys know what each of these commands are going to be doing, and I'll let you guys know which ones I consider to be essential or non-essential commands. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go right into this. So basically, there is no really lobby system in the new Panorama UI, so if you want to do this with friends, it's not really any more difficult than it used to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get in game. We're going to go ahead and go over here to this play button. We're going to click on this play button, and we're going to switch official matchmaking tab. We're going to go down to practice with bots, and then we're going to make sure that this little tab over here is set to no bots. Basically what that does is it loads you into a map without any bots in the map by default. So now we're going to go ahead and pick a map that we want to use. We're going to start with Mirage. It does not matter what map you choose, and it will not, the end result will be the exact same. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how we can invite our friends to come play and practice with us if we want to. So over here on the right side, if you hover your mouse cursor over here, you will see that the friends list pops up, anybody and everybody that is online. So if you have a friend that is online that you want to practice with, right click on their name, click on this little envelope here, and it will invite them to their lobby. And the lobby will be made over here on the right side of your screen. Now nothing is going to change. You're going to simply click go whenever you're ready. So basically what we're going to be doing first is if you loaded in and you were in a casual game type for whatever reason, we're going to go ahead and switch that on over to competitive so you can practice in a competitive setting. So go ahead and open up your console. Use the tilde key by default. It is the key next to your 1 key. If it does not work, simply click on escape, click on the settings menu gear here, make sure you tab over to game settings, go down to enable developer console, and make sure that it is checked to yes. Now once you've done that, go back into resume game and press that key, and it should open up your console. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change the competitive mode to, we're going to change the game mode, excuse me, to competitive instead of casual. So type in game_mode space 1. If it is 0 by default, that is another way that you can tell that it is casual. So if it is casual, click enter, and then we're going to select the map again so it will reload the map again. Your game may freeze when you go to type in what map you want to do. That's okay. It'll fix itself in just a few seconds. So type in DE_map space DE_Mirage and click enter. If you spawn in and happen to see bots running around, that is okay. We're going to go ahead and clear those guys out of here. So open up your console again and type in bot_kick, and it will get rid of any bots that may have spawned in. If they do spawn in, if you selected no bots, they should not spawn in, so this command won't matter to you at all. So those are just a few little one-off commands that are going to be pretty useful if some settings are changed and you need to know how to switch them back. That's a good way to do it instead of restarting the whole lobby all over again. So we're going to go ahead and enable our cheats. So we're going to type in a bunch of SV commands. So we're going to type in first SV_cheats space 1. That value is set to 0 by default. So go ahead and change that to 1, and that will allow you to no clip around and enable any other SV commands that you might want to do. So we're going to continue on with the list of these commands that we have here. So SV_infinite ammo is one that we're going to use. There are a few ways that you can do this. It is set to 0 by default. If you change it to 1, what that will do is anytime you fire, as you can see in the bottom right corner of the screen, that the ammo count is not changing whatsoever. So you might not want a bottomless mag. So if you don't want a bottomless mag, what we will do is we will change that value from a 1 to a 2 and press enter. Now what that will do is when we fire, our magazine will slowly empty, and if we reload, our max ammo still stays the same. So that's a pretty cool command that I find useful. So another one that we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna type in SV underscore grenade, if we can type it right. Grenade, and the first one that shows up is trajectory. So basically what this one is going to do is when you go to throw a utility, it will create a line. So we are going to change that value from a 0 to a 1. I will select a utility here and show you what I am talking about. So this one is very helpful when it comes to practicing nades and utility. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this, and you can see right there that it creates a green line, basically showing you where the utility went. And we can see that anywhere that it has impacted will leave a red box. So that's a pretty cool command. So we're gonna add on to grenade trajectory. So the last couple of commands that I've listed, I would consider pretty essential commands. Now these are just a couple bonus commands that I think are nice to have, but you don't have to have these. So you do not have to input these if you don't want to. So we're gonna type in, same thing, SV underscore grenade underscore trajectory. Now if you see, it's going to be the second command right there. You can tab down to that if you'd like to, using your arrow keys on your keyboard. So type in -2, and that will basically allow us to change the color from a solid to a stripe. So basically it allows you to see the line a little bit better, a little bit easier if you're throwing multiple utility. It's like I said, it's not an essential command, but it's a pretty nice one, I would say. So we're gonna add on to that one as well. We're gonna type in the same thing again. Now, it's the fourth one down. You can either click on it or you can tab down to it. So by default, the trajectory time is set to 20 seconds. Now, sometimes when I'm practicing utility, I might mess up, or I want to see the line just disappear faster. So I cut the time in half. Now, you may not think that that's really anything, but if you get to practicing a lot and doing a lot of utility, you will have a lot of lines going at one time. You can definitely have a lot going at one time. So sometimes you might need them out of your way, and 20 seconds can seem like a long time. So that will cut down on that time significantly. Okay, so we're almost done with the SV commands. I just have one more that I wanna show you guys. So this one is a pretty neat one. I would consider this one more of an essential than not. So we're gonna type in SV underscore show impacts space 1. Again, the value is set to 0 by default, so change that to a 1. And basically what this does is it allows you to see where your bullets are impacting. Whether it is up on a wall, or it is to see if you can shoot through an object, it will show you absolutely every surface that particular bullet impacts. So that's a pretty cool list of commands. So those are basically your cheat commands. You do have to enable SV underscore cheats for those to work. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and do a one-off command here. We're gonna type in ammo. This one I feel like is important for a utility practice. So we're gonna type in ammo underscore grenade. I mean, I struggle at typing that word. Underscore limits underscore total space 5. So this one is set to 4 by default, but what this will allow you to do in the buy menu, you can enable it so you can buy 5 utility versus 4 by default. If you know anything about Counter-Strike, 4 is the maximum amount of utility that you can have at one time. This will allow you to carry 5, which is one of every single type of utility. Okay, so now that we have that one done, we're going to go ahead and do a bunch of MP commands. Now, these are going to be about money and time and buying and all of that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start off, first off, with MP underscore warmup underscore end. So basically what this will do, it will throw you straight into the freeze time of the game, your normal, typical pre-round buys. So there will be no warm-up time at the start of your match. So with the freeze time, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that. So we're gonna type in MP underscore freeze time. We're gonna drop that value from 15 seconds down to 0. So now in between rounds, there will be no time whatsoever. You'll be able to freely move about because you cannot move during the freeze time. So now we're gonna go ahead and extend these rounds. So MP underscore round time in console space 60 will give you 60 minutes on the round time, and we're going to change the round time diffuse to 60 as well. So round time underscore diffuse space 60. That will extend your round length to 60, so you won't have the sub 2 minute times to do what you need to do. So now you will have a full 60 minutes to do whatever you want, and if that's still not enough time, it will just move on to round 2, which is another 60-minute timer. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a couple of team commands. These aren't necessarily essential commands. I'd say the round time ones are essential. The warm-up and freeze time necessarily aren't essential commands, but they're nice ones to have. It makes it a little more convenient, and you don't have to waste time with the freeze time and the warm-up. So we're going to go ahead and do this. If you are practicing alone, these commands, you do not need to use these commands, but this is more so if you are practicing with friends or a team. These can be a little more helpful to you guys. So we're going to type in MP underscore limit teams. Now this one by default is going to be set to 2 because there are 2 teams. So there will be no balancing because there will only be 1 team. So we're going to enable this to 0. The value is going to be 0, not 1, 0. And then you need to compound this one with MP underscore auto team balance 0. That will make the game not auto balance your team. So if you spawn in and 2 of you are on the same team, the next round the game will move 1 of you to the other team to balance the game. So if you use one of those commands, you need to use the other one so that the game does not auto balance your team. So moving on from there, we're going to go ahead and talk about our money situation. So we're going to type in MP underscore max money. 16,000 is the maximum amount of money that you can have by default. So we're going to change that value to 60,000. Now what that will do will give you plenty of money to buy whatever you want, multiple of weapons if need be. Basically, that's just a pretty solid overall value. You can change that value how you see fit, but 60,000 is just a pretty well-rounded number. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to match that value, but this time it's going to be MP underscore start money. And we're going to match that value of our max money, whatever that number that you choose may be, whether it's 60,000 or 600,000 or whatever that number is. Make sure to match the value with start money. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to extend our buy time. So MP underscore buy time will allow you to, instead of buying within 20 seconds of the round starting, with the rounds being an hour, you're going to want this to be a little bit longer. So we're going to change the value again to our start money value or our max money value, which is 60,000. Again, it's a number that is, reasonable for you to be able to buy things that's longer than 20 seconds is basically what I'm getting at here. So that's a nice little command to have there. That is not necessarily an essential, but it's a pretty convenient command, I'd say. So now we're going to go ahead and make sure that we can buy anywhere. So if you type in MP underscore buy underscore anywhere, this value is set to 0 by default. So we're going to change that to a 1 so we can roam around the map anywhere and buy anything that we want at any time. So now that we've got pretty much all of those done, we're going to go ahead and type in MP underscore restart game 1. Now what this will do is it will keep all of the commands that we have just typed into our console, and it will restart the match, so we will start at round 0 with all of the commands that we just put in working. And if you're wondering if it worked or not, well, you can see that there is no warm-up time and that there is no buy time. So now you can see the round time is at 60 minutes, our money is at 60,000, you can see our buy time is extended, and you can also see that we can buy one of each utility. And you can check no clipping to see if it works, if you can fly. Just like that, you've set up a practice lobby. So basically, that's all it takes. So what we're going to do is we're going to enable one more command. Technically 2, but they're basically the same command. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and type in God. If you're alone, type in God. and it will make you invulnerable to utility damage and to fall damage. You will not take any damage. Your armor will deplete, but your health will not. And if you're playing with friends, make sure you type in gods plural, and it will allow you and anybody on the server with you to not take any damage. So there you have it, guys. That pretty much does it for us in this one. Those are all the commands that I find to be pretty helpful, pretty convenient, pretty nice to have in a practice lobby. If you guys feel like there are extra commands that we could use in this list, feel free to leave a comment below. If you have any questions on what one of these commands might do, if I didn't clarify it enough, or if you wonder if one of them you can do without, or if you want to add something, let me know in the comment section below. I will see if I can help you guys out in any way possible. I will put a list of all the commands down in the description box below, so if you want to copy them into a config file, or if you just want to copy them straight into your console, you can do that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you found this pretty useful to you. If you did, feel free to leave a like, a positive comment, or feel free to share it with your friends if you feel like they might find it useful as well. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching again. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.